Hello! Today we are here to review Whirling Witchcraft. This is one of the games that was released up at Gen Con during the AEG Big Game Night, and we got to demo it there, and then we got it in our box for Big Game Night. So just go into some of the details on this one. It was released, obviously, in 2021.
Right.
It's a 2 to 5 player game. Average play time is 15 to 30 minutes, and definitely that's about right.
That seems right.
Age, it says 14 and up. I really don't see why.
I know my daughter can play this.
Yeah.
We'd have a lot of fun.
It's probably maybe 8 to 10.
Yeah,
I can't imagine
9,
14 and up. Maybe because it's witchcraft. Some people might find that objectionable. I don't know why it's 14 and up.
I don't either.
It's got a Board Game Geek rank right now of 8705, rating of 7.6. It was designed by Eric Anderson Sundin. Art is by Luis Francisco and Weberson Santiago. It was published by AEG, and MSRP is $39.99. I saw it online at different retailers for $31.99, so you can get it for roughly $32. So let's talk about the quality of the components. So the player boards are nice. They're thick and sturdy, and they're, we'll get to their looks here in the theme, but the flimsy piece of these cauldrons, they're eye candy. I mean, they look pretty, but they did not go together well.
No, they didn't.
The cardboard bent and warped when you would try to assemble it, and
then when you pass it around,
you're passing around, they're going to fall apart. So I already got Miranda looking into finding us a cauldron 3D model that she can print, so we can replace these, because it's falling apart just picking it up right there. You could glue it, but
then you got to put it away.
Then it's an art project, and I haven't done art projects since high school. So other than that, you've got cubes, which are standard basic cubes that you see in a lot of worker placement or types of games. The card stock it's not textured. It's decent thickness, but it's not. They're slick. They're not textured at all. So the player boards, being as sturdy as they are, I might give it a 5.5. But apart from that, that's about as high as I'm going on this as far as the quality.
Yeah, I mean, as far as quality of components, I think 6. I'm going to go 6.
Okay.
Just because the player boards, the cards aren't terrible.
No.
So, and the wooden pieces, even though they're generic, they're going to hold up.
Yeah. So let's talk about the theme here. So this is obviously a witch theme, and this was a really fun one. It's a take that type game, but it's very light. It's not like you don't feel like, oh, somebody's hurting me and you get angry at it. It's fun because everybody's doing exactly the same thing to the person on their right. And so it's really a fun, whimsical, magical theme that you're playing. This
with banter.
Yes. You can curse out in whatever magical dialect you want to use. If Harry Potter's your poison of choice, choose whatever their curse words are in Harry Potter. I don't know what they are. I'm sure Miranda can recite them. She's probably recited them about me a few times. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun magical theme, and I love the art. The player board art is beautiful. The cards art is a little cartoonish, but it's okay. It's pretty good too. I love the color scheme of it.
I like the style that they're using. It's not something you see every time.
Yeah,
it's a nice style. It's very.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the player boards are almost like a minimalistic art in the background, but then you have the kind of the different colors and the spell like little dots make them magical, and then you got the insignia or whatever it's pretty cool looking. It looks more crisp. And then the cauldrons, I love the art on the cauldron spell in the middle. But just it's the assembly of it is just bad. So as far as theme, I think I'm going to give the theme on this probably an 8.5. I really like the theme of this. It's very fun, very appropriate for this game.
Yeah, as I read a little bit into the rule book and read how they're theme goes, and I think it totally fits. I'm going to go actually with a 9 on this.
Okay, all right, okay.
So I think it's really, they've really impressed me on this.
Okay. As far as the rule book, it's a large rule book. It's box size almost, just slightly under, obviously, so you can fit it in. 8 pages long, and it's probably about appropriate for this game. The only drawback for the rules that I can really say is there's 3 little tokens that you'll get in the game that you can trigger 3 times during the course of the game most of the time. There's some abilities that let you bend that rule. But there's a cheat sheet in the middle of the book for it.
In the middle.
And it should be, they give you a cheat sheet card. They should have given you a cheat sheet card for those. Because when we played it at the AEG game night, we got a 1-sheet page that had all the rules to this game, to the game 10, and to not all the rules to Tiny Towns, but it had the information to play the base game of Tiny Towns on it. 1 piece of paper. And there's no reason you couldn't have done something to get just the piece that you need from this out on it.
I mean, even if they didn't want to spend to have a card made for it, putting it on the back.
Yeah, so on the back they put the credits on the back. You could easily put the credits inside and then put the reference material on the back. Because that is very critical in this game. And and you're not going to. It's going to take you a few plays to get to know the symbols on those tokens and what they mean.
What does the Raven do again?
Every time you play as a new player, you're going to have those questions come up and over and over again.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that should not be on a cheat sheet card. So because of that, I mean, I probably would have given this an 8 as far as rulebook. I'm probably going to go ahead and give it a 6.5 because that is such a critical piece to this game, and it's not handy.
Yeah, I think that's probably appropriate.
Yeah. So, all right. So moving on to gameplay. So that's where this game really shines. This game, I don't have a high opinion of AEG anymore. I used to. They used to be one of my favorite companies. Last few years, they've kind of disappointed, particularly Big Game Night. They've had a lot of blunders there. They've started getting a little better on that front. But the actual games they release, it seems like they get a hit and then they sell it. They've still got Smash Up.
That's been a long time, that's been their thing,
Yeah, it's like, I don't understand. It's like, why do you want to get rid of all your good games? I mean, they got Smash Up still, so they've kept that for 10 years. The 10-year anniversary is next year, so
does that mean it's up for sale?
That probably. So, but I mean, this one here was surprisingly a lot of fun. I mean, whenever I go to the Big Game Night and they tell me the games that are in there, I've never heard of them. I'm like, and they sound like simple, short games. I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be another box of nothing. This year, I was pleasantly surprised by both entries. When we used to get to 10, you'll see I actually enjoyed that one more than I expected to. But this, of the ones in there, this is probably the best. So this game, you're going to get a card that tells you what your witch is. Now, there's a standard one that everybody gets the same thing, or you can have your own. You choose to or get to and pick one, and they give you starting resources that you're going to get on your workbench. They also have a special ability that is unique to you. Sometimes it's a witch. And sometimes it's a spell that you get that's just basically an ongoing effect for you. So, or, sometimes it's a one-time and you got to throw it away. So there's a lot of different variety in these starting cards. But you're going to fill up your workbench, they call it, the tableau in front of you, with your cubes that they give you to start with. The goal is you don't want that to fill up. You want to keep it. So you have the stock you need to complete the spells you have, because you don't want to have nothing, because you won't be able to produce any spells. But you don't want it overflowing, because that's how you give victory points to your opponent.
Yeah.
So each turn, you're going to draft from a hand of 4 cards 1 spell. And that spell will have an ingredient cost, typically, and it will have ingredients that it produces, typically. It may also have some icons that match these 3 tokens on the top of them. If it does, you get to play when you play the spell, you'll get a one-time ability to move those tokens up one on the track, or however many you pictured there. Right. Sometimes it's 2. So you get to move those tokens up, and every time, even time, when it hits a 2, 4, or 6, it's going to trigger the effect of that token, which can be to remove ingredients from your workbench, or to let you use ingredients straight out of the supply to affect your spells, or to take a extra token from here and put it into your cauldron to try to poison the well when you give it to your opponent. So one of those 3 things are what those abilities do. So you're trying to get rid of the ingredients that are pooling in your workbench with your spells you choose. At the same time, you're trying to amass the ingredients that they produce, because those go into the cauldron that you've got, and you're going to pass that cauldron to your opponent on your right at the end of the round. So you're playing against the person on your right each time. The person on your left is giving you their cauldron, which they're going to try to overflow your workbench with. So you're always playing your opponent's cauldrons, right, or boards, I should say, their workbenches, because you want to look at what they're collecting and what their spells do, so that you can plan accordingly when you're choosing your spells, so you can try to maximize your flooding. Right. Did I leave anything out? I think
that pretty much explains it. I mean, that's the gameplay.
Yeah.
Right there.
So the first person to get 5 or more cubes that overflow, because anytime somebody overflows their workbench, you get the excess as victory points, and you put them in your little insignia on your board. Once you get 5 of them, the game ends. Whoever has the most wins the game. Right. If there's a tie, then whoever's got the most variety of colors wins the game.
If there's still a tie,
there's ongoing tiebreakers.
They got many tiebreakers.
So that's in essence the game. So this is super simple but super fun. I mean, we finished it, and it's late at night, and we were like, "Hey, y'all want to play again?" And we're like, "Yeah." All of us unanimously wanted to play it again, because it's so quick, it's over, and you're like left wanting to, oh, I really want to play this again now. It's not something you want to play once and done. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and especially because it's not a, I wouldn't call it like a lot of labor to set it up, but there is enough that it's not one time playing it in 15 minutes. It doesn't feel satisfying. You want
after setting up the
cauldrons. After setting it up, especially since we assembled the cauldrons. Yeah,
and maybe you got to put all your blocks out on your board.
Yeah, maybe if it was already pre-assembled and we didn't have to punch everything and all that, it wouldn't have been so bad. But it's like we punched it, we assembled it, and then we play, and it's over in 15 minutes, and we're like, we
got to do it again.
Yeah. And then I lost and I wanted to do it again, but we didn't have time. So, I mean, I was really impressed by this one. Given the fact that it is a light game, it's a good filler game, and it's hard to find a good filler game that's fun, and it is a theme I think this will be really appealing to people, assuming you don't have a problem with witchcraft. Some people do. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is, I'm probably an 8 on this, is where I think I am.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The moment we got done playing this, I was like, this would be a great one for my family, because I think everyone in my family, whether it's my oldest son or my youngest child, my daughter, I think everybody would like it, because even if they didn't do well, it was fun.
Yeah.
And, and it doesn't take long.
Yeah, and you could do it again.
I mean, you could do it again, or everybody could be like, okay, that was satisfactory, and we can put it away. And that's okay. But, I think everybody would have fun. So
Yeah. I mean, it's not one that I feel like anybody's going to walk away with hurt feelings about it.
They ganged up on me. You can't gang up on me.
You're always attacking the person on your right. There's no, targeting of one player.
No.
So, yeah, I really think this is a well-designed game. And, kudos to AEG. They pulled off a good one. So, keep it up. I think there was another AEG game that I recommended the other day. So this is 2 now, and, 10 will probably come up here shortly, and I'll give you my impression of that. It's favorable. It's not as good as this one, but it's favorable. So, get some winners coming in. All right. Well, did you have anything else to say
No,
before we cast this spell away?
No abracadabra.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time on the channel. And if you have any questions about the game or any feedback, or just want to see any other games coming up, I mean, you're going to be seeing a lot of the Gen Con ones coming up. We're going through a ton of them right now.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. If you haven't, I'm assuming everybody's done so because it's kind of no brainer. Just hit the button, and then right next to it the notification bell because you want to get notified when we pop these things up.
Right.
Yeah, because we're not always at the same time right now. We're working on it, but sometimes it takes longer to edit these things than we would hope.
Right.
So, but yeah, subscribe button, notification bell, and join us along for the ride. We got 3,000 games to get through, and we've just barely scratched the surface. So, until next time, bye.
Ciao.